Washtenaw 911, where is your emergency?
Yeah, I have a problem with the tenant making, she's listening loud music and throwing all the furniture out, blocking the main entrance into the house. It's a multi-family house, so I think it's on drugs. She's smoking something, so, and of course she's cursing, calling me a cop, and, you know, things like that.
I'm having a problem with that person in V Respalas. So that person is causing safety problems. Am I allowed to change the lock or?
So you would have, if he's been living there, you have to seek formal eviction.
Okay.
There's some other
I
things.
filed that notice
Okay.
already.
There is like emergency or.
I pay my rent every month from Uncle Sam's Social Security Disability. Excuse me, ma'am. Do you know Mr. Carrick that lives in that unit? His son is a slumlord trying to evict me up out my apartment in Ypsilanti. I'm disabled, and he trying to make me homeless, and I was just trying to have a talking with him, you understand? I was in court this morning, they didn't show up. They sent a lawyer to do the dirty business. God bless you, Miss Lady. I'm sorry, too. People ain't got enough guts to meet with you face to face, pulling some bullshit at the court. There they are. Hello. Hi. I need to speak with, what's up with Millie and Zorka trying to evict someone who paid their rent every month?
Oh, no, Brianna Kingsley.
I know who you are.
All right. Where?
No.
Oh, you need it. Go ahead. I'll wait for you to put that on. Can you hear me? Got it. Okay. All right. Where are we?
Been here on a few different adjournments. I think this was the date and time set for the last settlement conference. Defendants requested a jury trial. There was an escrow order that was put in place January 5th. That escrow order, though the sums have been paid properly, the timing of the order was breached. It's required to pay rent within the same time period as the lease, either the 1st or late by the 5th. We have escrow payments that were made February 15th, February 16th, that would have been late for the month of February, which would result in the waiver of the jury. So as a result, if the court is still inclined to proceed forward with the trial, it should just be a bench trial at this point. It should be set relatively quickly. I believe the escrow order would have required it to be set within 14 days. We have filed an answer. The court had adjourned previously when the defendant filed an answer to this, that their affirmative defenses could have been read as counterclaims. So we did file an answer to the end to avoidance of the affirmative defenses with the court. Ready to proceed now, though I still don't think there's a tribal issue of fact. I know the court has allowed it to go this far and is granting her the jury trial.
Do you have a response?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe that there are tribal issues. I can prove with evidence retaliatory eviction, illegal lockout, changing locks. I communicated the need for repairs, gave plenty of time. They were not done. This ultimately stems from a personal dispute by Ms. Serena's husband.
She did something to the door.
Does she stay in the same apartment or?
Yeah, she's in that unit.
Oh,
It's
in the
a, it's a
unit?
two.
That person's unit.
It's a two-bedroom apartment, so
We have
they
okay.
have a separate bedrooms.
Okay.
And they're sharing everything else.
She had been detained for domestic violence 3 days.
Okay. Against you?
Yes.
I have been trying to get help from state emergency relief. I had to wait a little while for my appointment, and I had it last week. And thank God I was approved for some support up to $3,000, but the landlord refused to accept it. There has been no serious health hazard done, and they will not be able to prove that such a thing occurred. I will be able to share context.
Well, let me ask this. And it's a rather odd termination because one of the things is a failure to pay rent. that was on there, but that aside, have the health hazards that were alleged, have they been corrected?
No, I've been living in this winter, but I have been living without a thermostat because the landlord took it away. It's one of those Wi-Fi, thermostats. Mitch.
What do you mean they took it away?
So
It's a three-level unit, Your Honor. The thermostat is in one of the other units, which is set to 72 degrees and stays there. She's never had access to the thermostat.
That's not true. When I moved in for 5 months, I did have a thermostat that I used, and I keep different hours. I'm disabled. I tend to be more awake at night when their schedule fits probably more of a 9 to 5. So what's happening is at night, the house is freezing cold when I'm trying to accomplish things. I've had issues with the lighting in several areas where.
Hold on.
Yes,
Hold
sir.
In terms of the rental balance, so maybe we can get that part. What is the balance that you're claiming is owed?
The balance of rent, not including the escrow, Your Honor, would have been $5,390 through this month. I do believe escrow was paid this month, sometime around March 1st for $980. Otherwise,
Well, I don't have 980 in rent. Unless some came out. I have 870, which was paid on the.
Oh, yes, sir, because last month I paid a little extra ahead. So when I was here to make my payment, I asked the clerk to tell me the amount that was paid extra. So if the total balance should reflect the 3 months.
It may. I'm just saying, council had indicated a certain amount had been paid, and I'm indicating there was 870 paid.
The whole month was paid in pieces. Yes, sir.
From the onset of this case, Your Honor, it's $6,370 in total rent paid.
Say again.
$6,370 would be the rent due and owing.
6,300. Give me that. $70.
Just so the court is aware too, the lease expires April 30th.
What do you have as the amount of rent?
I have $2,939.98.
All right. So the lease expires April 30th.
Correct, John.
Are you intending on moving, or what is the?
Yes.
Okay.
I wanted to stay at my apartment.
Pardon?
I wanted to live in my apartment for the full lease term. I'm planning to move out at the end of April.
Okay. All right.
So I would like to see proper accounting of the claim of that amount, because the last time it was requested, it was not done properly. And
What do you mean the last time? I'm not sure what you're referring to.
At the December 22nd hearing, Your Honor, defendant requested an accounting of the rents that were paid. We did a notice of filing showing both her payments as well as the payments of her prior co-tenant, because
that is not true. That is not true. I have not received that. That's what I asked for.
Hold on.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. I'm trying very hard.
Okay. And you're saying you didn't receive it.
I did not receive anything that reflected what my roommate contributed. I did not see that. What Attorney Backman just said.
And Your Honor, that was addressed at the last hearing, where she indicated that
thought it was
a proper accounting. She didn't like the way the accounting was drafted, but it was in and of itself an accounting of all of the rents paid by both sides showing.
And maybe we review it together.
We who?
He's saying it is, I'm saying it ain't. Let's.
Okay. Here, I think that's what let me put it this way. What I'm looking is what issues at trial I'm gonna have to deal with. Obviously, I'm gonna have to deal with that. So
I have an additional copy, Your Honor, for the defendant, so I'll make sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and I heard you said is this the answer? Because I didn't receive any additional information. You said you filed with the court?
Your Honor, I have an additional copy of the answer to the affirmative defense.
I mean, how do I get that?
These were all mailed, Your Honor.
Well, they haven't been received yet.
Okay, now they have. All right. So what the court's going to find regarding trial, because obviously we're not going to be able to resolve it here at a final settlement conference, is that given the way that escrow was paid, the problem is that escrow needed to be paid within the time frame specified, and it wasn't. It was paid, all right, but you have to. No, I'm not faulting you for that. I'm just saying.
Which month was it? Because this month I came in as soon as I got my social security deposit. I only get the one amount per month. And
No, I get it. I mean, it's not, but what I'm saying is there's timeframes for it to be paid. What I did is I think that the jury has been waived.
Correct, Your Honor.
And so that's it. That doesn't mean that you don't get a trial. I delayed it in terms of what would normally happen is I would have said, jury's waived, they get an immediate trial. The problem is you had not yet gotten all of your things together to get to the court. And so I was allowing that to happen. That doesn't really affect the waiver. It more affects the timing of the trial and then the payments. So there will be a trial on possession. I will set a trial on possession. Here is my real fundamental question for the parties, because I can get you in. It's going to be sometime in April. And realistically, just thinking, lease expires April 30th, right? There'd be a trial. We could certainly spend our time on a trial or agree to a move out at the end of April, because I mean, you're going to somehow or another, you're going to have to figure out the figures of what may be owed, right?
I can do
But, and I know you can do that. You're going to come to a different number than that. I know how I've been with you guys long enough. I know what's gonna happen. So, but what I'm saying, I guess my bottom line to it is I'll give a trial date. That's not a problem. But the reality is you're going to be moving out at the end of April, right? And that's what they're looking to have happen. I don't know why we can't just figure everything out with a move out date of April.
And I'm okay with that. I would be willing to negotiate with them, but after I got the approval, they said, yeah, we're gonna help you with the 3,000 from SOS. The total amount that I had was just under 3,000. So here I am happy. I'm gonna get some support.
Hold on a second. So did they say they were going to do that?
Yes, I have the email that I can share with the court. Miss Alicia, last name.
So Alicia, that's fine. From SOS.
Yeah, and I have a letter that states the landlord declined to participate in the program. So they're suing me for money. I was able to get money, but they don't want to come and I was Alicia basically said, which is my I have an email. It says that, you know, I've been waiting all this time for the extra help. So you know, they're kind of just throwing everything on the wall to see what sticks. They're claiming rent, but the rent was withheld because of a failure to secure a property that's habitable. The landlord busted off the locks. I lived without locks in my apartment for several months. I had people break in.
I'm not here to try this right now. Okay. If you say that there's assistance, they declined to participate in the program, then I can't do anything about that. I can't force them to do that.
Yeah, it's just odd, right?
Pardon?
It's odd.
It's not necessarily odd. I mean, some landlords participate, some don't.
I'll speak with my clients. It's the first
I was wondering if they should contact Zorka instead of Mitch, because Mitch is the rude
All that aside, Your Honor, I don't know if the court would prefer, given that there's an indication from the defendant that she'd be moving out at the end of the month, to set the trial in May, just not to waste the court's time. I hate to kick this out any further. My fear is that we'll have the issue over not just possession, but damages and rents. That'll be the bigger.
Because there wasn't a permanent ongoing problem.
So possession is already handled. Setting it in May may save the court time.
You have any problem with me setting a May trial date then instead of an April
I
one?
preferred the jury trial that I requested.
I know, and I'm deeming that it's been waived.
Okay,
So,
I'm willing to be at trial whenever is convenient for the court.
okay, but what counsel's suggesting is a May trial date because you said you're going to move in April. And so it may be that the trial may not be necessary. It can be
I want
resolved
the
that way.
trial because it's a retaliatory eviction and I want my damages.
I get that.
Yeah.
But the certain issues regarding possession and other things would be done with if I set it in May. As opposed to if I set it, it's going to be early April. And here's what I don't want to run into potentially is a situation where, let's say, and I'm not saying how I'm going to rule, but I'm just saying, let's say I rule in their favor. And then there's an order of eviction for, let's say, April 15th. And then, but you're going to be out the 30th anyway.
I'd be willing to be out tomorrow if they would just accept the $3,000 and say I don't owe them any money and we move on. It's only a month left.
Okay.
Otherwise, I want.
Then that may be an option you guys can work out. And let me just say this, I don't know this for sure. Part of the reason why they may not have accepted the 3,000 is because the funding technically is to preserve housing. So the question of you moving out at a particular point in time may affect that 3,000 and whether or not they pay it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's a hypothetical, but there depends on what program it's coming from, is what I'm saying. So it may be that it's not entirely as simple as that, because what used to happen is somebody would get an email like you did. They'd contact the landlord, and what they want is then a lease that continues on. And if the landlord said, no, that's not going to happen, that will look like their rejection. I'm just saying, I don't know that happened in this case, but I could see that potentially being an issue in this case. All right.
Potential, not possible.
Okay, however you want to phrase it. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to indicate the jury trial's been waived. I think the best thing to do, folks.
So what month was it that I missed the window?
Well, actually, the first period in time, you actually would have missed it.
The first period when it was first ordered?
Yes, ma'am.
It was ordered after the payment due date, wasn't it? We're talking about.
Well, there was escrow was prorated, and then when you came into hold on. When you came into February, you did a partial.
I've already.
And then, if you're gonna try to overtalk me, I can't do it that way.
How else may I respond to things that I'm concerned about? I don't have, I will write them down.
All right. That's my ruling on it. I'm also going to then set non-jury trial in this matter. Give me a May date. I need it before then.
Do Tuesday, May 7th, you know?
Thank you. That non-jury trial, May 7th, 2024 at 9 a.m. Right. And that's what we do. And you're gonna check into with SOS.
Yeah, sure.
And that,
Do you have their contact info I can share with you?
that's what I was gonna suggest. If you can get the contact information so council knows, and then that way, maybe that'll work out that back amount in some way. Okay,
Thank you, Your Honor.
thank you.
There they are. Hello. Hi. I need to speak with, what's up with Millie and Zorka trying to evict someone who paid their rent every month?
I don't know. I don't know who you are.
I know who you are.
Have a good day.
I know who you are. You better watch out for those Serbian motherfuckers. They're shady. I pay my rent every month, and they're trying to evict me on bullshit. Yes, sir. Good morning. You know your neighbor here, Mr. Carrick? I rent an apartment from Milovan and Zorka, who are related to Mr. Carrick here. In Ypsilanti, and they're trying to evict me, sir. I pay my rent every month. I get disability. I just want to let you know who you're living next to, sir. Yes, sir. Well, you got a friend. He want to follow along, it seems. Don't mind the little dog behind you. There's Mr. Puddles. Come on, you going for a walk with the gentleman. Come on. Excuse me, sir. Come on, Puddles. Come on. Come on, good boy. Come on, Puddles. Good boy, okay. No running off now. See, I was at court this morning, and the Carricks did not show up. They sent in a lawyer trying to evict someone who paid her rent every month. The only eviction case in Washtenaw County where someone trying to get evicted, even though I pay my rent every month from Uncle Sam's Social Security disability. You have shady relatives, you better talk to them. Tell lies, and I got the proof. I got the proof.
She's not gonna do that. She's not gonna listen.
They cannot enter, and if you let them in, I'll get you.
Well, how you gonna get him?
Yep, just like you got your last tenant.
Let's go. Let me let you in the window.